G'day guys, just going to do a video on the camping trailer. Now in recent times you've seen the whole series of the build, but there hasn't been anything really recent. That was actually from a couple of years ago, and probably a year ago for the test trip. So worthwhile sort of going over what's been done since then. We've been in it several times now, and it's worked pretty well actually. So we'll just go over some of the new changes to it, and I'm going to do a detailed look at the inside. So we're going to have a look at everything that's carried in it. So initially we'll just have a quick look at the changes, and you can see on the side there's a jerry can holder. That's a new addition. There's one of those on each side. Bit of a better picture there on the sunny side. Another change has been on top there. You can see there's a little light. I did actually have that at one time on the back of the 4x4, but then we made changes to that and it was just sitting around in the shed, so I was looking for something to do with it. So I'll just whack that up there for something to do. I don't know how much use it'll get. On the front here, a couple of big hooks, can hang up garbage bags. That's always been something that we've wanted, or cables or whatever. So we'll have a look now at the insides and see what's being carried in it. It's pretty well loaded now, the way it's going to be when we go away on a trip. So I'll just do a quick walk around so you can see all the details of the outside. I think I probably did mention the water filler. If I haven't, then that was an addition to it, so that the water tanks can be filled from the outside, because there's a spare wheel carrier. You saw all that going on with the build. And let's see how much we can get of the top there. And the awnings on each side. So yeah, it's pretty compact. It tows really well, and it does the job we want it to do. Now, as you can see along the edge of the box, I did add a bit of sealer to stop dust getting in, and to date that's worked pretty well. We really haven't had any dust getting into the box. So the thing I'll do now is just go through the contents and give you a look at what we carry in the front. Now this will give me a bit of an idea of what we've got in here too, because I haven't had a look for a while. So initially we've got levelling ramps. I'll just put them up on the table here so you can see what's going on bit by bit. Might get a bit of wind in the microphone this morning. Dustpan and brush, and we have some cooking gear in here. Good for me to see exactly what's here. A bit of a brush, brushing things down, especially cobwebs that have been gathering on the trailer since we haven't been doing anything with it. Now those are the sandbags. A long time ago we showed you those in the video at Tamla. They're pretty good. Useful for when you've got soft sand. And speaking of pegs, there's our other bent one. Oh, this is, for those who don't know, an anti-fly device. You put a couple of batteries in there, press that, and then play tennis with the flies. And of course that's an electric screen in there, as you just saw. Zap myself. Works pretty well. You can feel that bite as it grabs you, and that kills flies pretty effectively. Okay, a bit of a mouldy looking battery charger in case we ever need it for a 240 volt. Spare extension cord. heap of different sorts of pegs in here. Many tent pegs. A peg hammer and a puller on the other end for pulling them out again. Whack that in there, it's a bit bent actually. Before I do that, let's just straighten that up again. It's a little bit better. See what else we've got down here. We've got the fan. Before I get that out, oh, we've got a hole in that bag. I'll have to fix that. Okay, these things here are for absorbing moisture. And these are actually full of desiccant. They look like they were, I don't know, stockings or something that have been tied up. They actually came with the Jayco when we bought it. There's a bit of a hole in that one, so I'm going to have to sew that up. But they're really good. You whack those in front bins and places like that where there's likely to be maybe a little bit of moisture, and they absorb it, and as soon as the moisture goes away they all dry out and are completely reusable. We've been using those for years. Okay, we have the camp oven there, and this is a battery tester. Whack that on your batteries and it'll let you know if they need replacing or not. That seems to be fairly reliable, because when it said they need replacing, it's actually been right. These are the screw in ones that I believe I showed in one of the videos when the trailer was being put together. I really haven't used those yet, but they look useful, so so that goes with the camp oven. It's to hold the lid when it's hot. These are just the Audi tent pegs. They're pretty strong. Haven't had any problems with those bending. Let's see if we can get this fellow out. Now this could probably do with a recharge. It's been sitting in there for a long time. That's the fan we use in the tent. Let's see if there's any power left in it. There probably isn't. Oh no, still got a bit of power there. So that needs a charge up. Okay, these are just bits and pieces. That's a bag for holding ropes. More pegs. Got a piece of wire there. That can be hooked up to the batteries in case I need it for anything. That's just a spare. Got a USB cable there, a micro. Okay, all that needs to be, that's a very badly bent peg. I don't know if it's worth straightening that one. Try to keep it in the box. And that's the Audi. Ooh, I don't fall over the camping table. That's the Audi cooking set. I've used that quite a few times now too. It's been really good. Non-stick, clip-on handles, very easy to use, and pack it away. I've got to get a better container than that to put it in. I'll have to have a look around today and see what I can find. As this box is deteriorating over time. See if I can find something better than that. A lot of just sort of bits and pieces, some cooking gear, a fan, and give you a look at the inside of the bin. Now it's empty. It's still of course got the battery in there, and the regulator over that side. Let's have a look at what that's reading. 13.3, so that's pretty good. So we've got the outlet. We've got a missed that one, a little cigarette lighter adapter in there as well. But as you can see, pretty reasonable. Something down there's caused a little bit of rust to start. We'll have to clean that up, put a bit of WD-40 or something on it so it doesn't get any worse. But the bin's pretty useful, and of course that's the light that I showed you some time ago. Just has a little detachable rechargeable piece. You just unplug that from there, you take that away, and I'll do that now. That's what that USB is for, and charge that up. So I'll do that now. It's time to go through everything properly and recharge everything that needs to be recharged. Bit of a shame that this thing hasn't got a couple of USB ports on it. The more modern ones do. This is the old one out of the coaster actually. When I changed it over, it was still usable, so I stuck it in here. It's not exactly great quality, but it would have been nice if it had a USB port on it, and I could have just plugged that into there and put it straight up onto the light. And anyway, I'll take this away and charge it. And the next thing to have a look at is the inside, of course. And there you can see the door in its final form with all the bits and pieces on it, and we'll have a look in detail at what's on there. There's all sorts of junk gets put in here. You can see one of the more important things, the dunny roll holder and the fire extinguisher. And you've seen the inside before. You can't see much at the moment because the bedding is all sitting there. Okay, so now begins the look at the inside, a detailed look. I've already taken out the beds, and you can see the stack just over here, and that's what takes up a lot of the room. But we're sick to death of air beds. They all go flat. We have had the camping beds, and we've still got those in there, just in the off chance we decide to put the beds up high. But in general, it'll be these mattresses here. They're just 3 fold-out single mattresses, nice and comfortable to sleep on. They're not going to go flat. And on top of those, I have my little pop-up tent. That's this one. That's for sleeping in for me. And we have the pop-up shower tent on top of that. And so inside we've got this big fold-out table. That's the one that goes right along the side when I'm setting up the kitchen. And as you can see, we eventually mounted the Julka up here. You'll have seen that in some of the camping videos we've done of this. And that's mounted on the back plate there, so all you've got to do to take it off if you want to is just release these little elastic straps. How long they'll last I don't know, but we'll find out eventually. You release those and you can just take it off if you need to. Now all the other bits and pieces up the back here, let's go through them. Up the top we've got a bit of hose up there at the moment, and sleeping bags. We do have these other mattresses as well. We still have those around. That's that's what they call self-inflating mattresses. They're the ones you take the ends off and they gradually inflate themselves up, but they've got a bit of foam in them. On their own they're just not sufficient for us to sleep on, but we can use those with the stretcher beds if we want to. So we carry a grand total of, I think it's 5 beds. So you can actually, this little thing can accommodate 5 people if you need it to. Underneath there in the red boxes we've got the kitchen gear. I'm going to grab that out in a minute and we'll go through it. And we have a couple of water containers on this side. That's an extra 40 litres. Buried under all the stuff in there that you can't see at the moment are the 2 43-litre water tanks. So you can just see the end of one there. And the Coleman chairs, they're nice and comfortable. And of course a gas cylinder down here, and we do have a small gas cylinder as well as that. So I shall start emptying this lot out, and we'll go through some of the detail of those boxes and see what's in there. Okay, so the initial stuff that I've taken out, the black bag on the far left there is for guide lens, quite a few of those in there. The next one along is for charcoal. Next bag is the Coleman Triton cooker. Then we have the grill's fire pit. We have 2 camp stretcher beds, which are a bit redundant these days, but if we actually go camping they usually come out. They're in there for storage more than anything else at the moment, as are the 2 mattresses those self-inflating mattresses as they call them. All that is fairly redundant. Unless we have some specific reason to take them, all that is just being put for storage in the trailer until we go away. Then they come out and I shove them in the shed while we're away. Of course, we've got the two Coleman director's chairs, nice and comfortable, light, strong, little side tables on them, so we're quite happy with those. We've had one of those before and it lasted for years. We have the big folding Aldi table at the end there, and just past that the two 20-litre water containers for spare water. And now you can actually see the water tanks in here. And just up in there, I'm not bothering to bring these out, no point. We've got some spare shade cloth that goes on the ground around the camper. We've got the Julka sink, which has got all the Julka bits and pieces in it, all the cables, the pump and the hoses. We have the little trolley there, and the trolley is for moving around the porta potty. Because when that fella's full, you don't want to go carting it around by hand. Much easier to put it on a trolley. We have a hose up there, and that's for helping to refill the water tanks from whatever water sources we can find. The other hose up there is an extension. We sometimes need that if we can't reach with the standard hose. These fellas here are the two awnings. That's the ARB, and behind it in there is the Aldi. I have the folding gear, the folding bucket. We have a folding sink, colander, and then we've got a dish rack. And in these things we have more folding containers, little flat pack stuff that we can use to put food in if we need to, pack things away. There's a couple of pillowcases there. Pillows are one thing that we don't keep in here. Pillows and we just bring it as we come out. Hot water bottle for cold nights, some dishcloths, a lot else in there. We've got a big fry pan under there, real heavy duty cast iron job. So one of the main things I want to go through are those red boxes and just double check what I've got in them, because I can't even remember myself. It's mostly cooking gear and that sort of stuff. The silver box alongside there is a barbecue kit, tongs, yeah, the usual stuff you get in a barbecue kit. I'm sure you've seen those. I don't need to get that one out. I'll just have a quick look at the door. That's the toiletries bag that stays in here. We've got bits and pieces. We've got a spare dishcloth up there. That's the one we use. Empty container, but a useful thing for bits and pieces if I need it. Bits and bobs container. All sorts of junk in there that I might need at some stage. We've got paper towels up there. Some spare plastic bags. Butane cylinder. Over here we've got fire blanket. We've got more paper towels, that one's running out a bit. We have a little extension for the hose, just in case we need to poke that into something, usually to help fill up. Actually, I should change that from a green hose to a blue drinking water hose. Spare rope in there. We have a strip light. That's for the ARB awning, and if we ever get that one set up again, we'll show you what that's for. But the idea is they've got a clear section on top of their awning for a light to go under the roof, and that's what that's for. And of course we have the dunny roll holder, which I showed you before. Toilet brush, which to date has never been used, and haven't needed it yet. Fire extinguisher. We've got some spare cylinders for the Coleman cooker. Got a nice little magnetic light here. Actually, I should get that out and recharge it. Is that recharging or is it a battery one? I can't even remember. I haven't used it for so long. Oh yeah, but that's very, very weak, so something needs to be done with that. So the good thing about that one is it's got a very strong magnet on it. and you can pop it up anywhere that you've got ferrous metal and just direct it where you want it. So it's a very useful little light, but obviously that is now in dire need of either a recharge or a new battery, so I'll have to pull that apart and reacquaint myself with how it works. Other items to keep on the door, some spare soap up there, a little scrubby for washing up, ubiquitous rid to keep the mozzies away, mozzie coils, spray on rid, Aerogard, more Aerogard. Oh no, that's just a Repellex one. Some hand sanitizer back from the days of COVID, spare padlocks and their associated keys. We have a clothesline there, roll out clothesline. Now I'm yet to put an attachment for that somewhere on the trailer. I'll eventually get round to that. WD-40, can hardly go anywhere without that. Another little torch, we're going to need to check on how well that one is going. Another one that needs either batteries or charging. Let's have a look. I think that one takes batteries. Yeah, okay, there's just no batteries in that at the moment. That's fine. Just to have these useful little things where you can grab them if you need them in a hurry. And then we get down to things like dishwashing liquid, hand soap. What's that one? Oh, more dishwashing liquid. Oh, that one must be cooking oil. Yeah, that's cooking oil. And what do we have in the back there? We have a little plastic bag sealer. It's battery powered. No batteries in at the moment. I can feel that's empty. So that's basically the door. We have all those little shelves that I've picked up at op shops. $3 or $4 each, most of them. And you just pop them in place all over the door, making sure that when you do that they don't interfere with anything that's fixed inside. So you can see the inside of the water filler there. That's a bit of a problem because this hose, you have to sort of adjust it all the time. It flattens out here, you can just see that, and that's a real pain in the bum. So what I'm probably going to have to do is extend it a bit so that it comes round in a more smooth curve, because when that bit flattens out, of course, the amount of water going in there is going to be significantly reduced. They're a bit of a nuisance, those things. I don't know why they have to make this so long. It would have been so much better if it just went in to a small spigot here. But this is a great big lumper thing. I suppose they're designed for caravans and motorhomes, but that's been the solution for it. It's a lockable cap on the other side. Yeah, okay, so we'll get over to the table and start looking through the other bits and pieces. So you can see this huge pile of gear here is what fits in the back there, surprisingly, and it all fits in quite well. There's no squeezing going on. It's not really difficult to get it in. So last job will be just pull out these two red boxes, and we'll see you over at the table as we go through the contents of those. Okay, so let's start to have a look through these boxes and see what we've got. We'll start with these fellas because there's less in them. That's the folding sink. The other one in there, the bigger one must have been a bucket, a square bucket. So that's the folding sink. We have a scoop water. That's useful for quick wash down if you don't want to use the shower pump. You can just put some hot water in a bucket and wet yourself down with that. And just a spare little bum bag, if you like. Nothing in that at the moment, but it really lands. These are good quality bags if you can pick them up at op shops, which is what I do. And they're really handy. You can clip your keys on there, put bits and pieces in there, a bit of money if you want. Just a useful thing to have as a spare in case I need it. And we've got the small gas bottle container. Let's have a feel. Yeah, there's plenty of gas in there still at the moment. We usually keep these tops on them That's a screw-on one, and that keeps the dust out. So it's a good idea if you can get your hands on those. They give you the real cheapy ones most of the time, but these ones you can get nice stiff plastic, and they just screw on. You can see that's pretty thick. And with gas bottles, of course, they've got reverse threads on them. Okay, the other one, we have a solar powered light. Not only a light, but this is an insect killer. They have these at Aldi sometimes, useful getting hold of. They seem to last a long time. You can use it as a bit of a torch. It's always a great one to take to the dunny with you because it's got the insect killer on there, so if there's any mozzies in the dunny, that attracts them and kills them, saves them attacking you. Ubiquitous flashing lights these days, and then it switches to a more broad-based light, and the second button turns on the grill and the little UV light in there to attract the mozzies. They're good, and you can hang them up, as I say, solar recharge, or of course you can recharge them from a USB as well. So nice little thing to have. We've got a couple of these hanging around and find those quite useful. A pop out funnel. Everything pop out to save space these days. Pop out colander. It's just really useful to have all this pop out stuff because it just stores so much more easily. Now we've got a couple of spare pillows, and the reason I carry those, these are along the same idea as those self-inflating mattresses, a self-inflating pillow. If we happen to forget a pillow, we know we've got a couple in here just stored away. They're quite big. They're not really suitable for my neck, but better than nothing. We have the little charcoal lighter. So it's like those funnels they sell. You've seen our other one, a round one. Folds out, bring the handle out, put your charcoal in there, light it up, and that gets your charcoal going quickly. Again, everything for convenience, so flat pack stuff, really handy. Spare dunny roll, always important. I'll have to check what's in these red boxes because if we go camping, that's one of the things we must remember to take. We have a sheet, only one sheet in here at the moment I think. That's just to cover the beds, or one of the beds. Another little grill. It must be for something. Oh no, of course, that's for this thing, isn't it? Yes. Okay, those are for that. Now I remember. Because that can also be used as a bit of a cooker as well if you need to. Top of the wok, because it doesn't fit in the front bin. And it just sits in that box there. And this one, I suppose that should be, that's the 50mm ball lock. If you leave your trailer and want to leave it secure, that just goes on your 50mm ball. Okay, now let's have a look at the red boxes. What have we got in here? This will be a surprise to me. Okay, maybe about time for that to come out. Usually it's in a Ziploc bag. It may still be alright. That's definitely time to take that one out. Okay, basic cooking stuff, bits and pieces. That's a very small cutting board. We should have a bigger one than that somewhere. We have it's got tea on the outside, so various packet teas, sugars, pepper, salt, that sort of thing. Just packet based, so that they don't. The reason for getting that instead of putting ordinary coffee and tea and things like that in little containers is they generally get very damp, and much better to have them in packets because the moisture doesn't get to them. Okay, we have melamine cups. We have cooking bits and pieces, tongs, egg slice. Oh, we have a for those who like their coffee on the run. Once you've got your hot water, dump your coffee grounds in the bottom. You can do it with tea also. Metal, but quite lightweight. Works well, does the job. You don't need any of this fancy gear that people take with them. you can have a good coffee with decent coffee grounds. Just put into one of these. Okay, and we have the lightweight cooking gear. This at one time was meant for going in the car. It's sort of made its way into this box for now. It's just a little lightweight cooking set. It's usually meant for backpackers and things like that. You can just unfold them, and it's got a few bits and pieces in there, including a kettle, believe it or not. Bread knife. And we have some bits and pieces here that probably going to need changing. That's some very crystallized honey. I think that one should come out. About time to take that out. And this is why I don't do coffee like that anymore. That needs throwing out, obviously. That's what happens to your coffee if you leave it in a container. So I've abandoned doing that, so that's going to need throwing away. Time to take that out. That's why it's good to go through your gear before you think about going away. Some fish sauce, that'll be fine. Lasts forever. Well, that says tomato sauce. It probably is. It's a bit dark looking. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. They get a bit dark, but nothing wrong with it. And soy sauce, that's always fine. It's full of salt. Ordinary little funnel, filling up bottles, whatever. We have some decent filleting gloves, I think, there. What are they? Cooler bar. I don't know why I got those, but are they filleting gloves? Not really. They're not strong enough to be filleting gloves. I'm not really sure what they're for. No, never mind. We have a meat thermometer in here somewhere. Yes, there we go. So if you're doing a roast, you can check on how well cooked it is. We have spray-on garlic flavoured oil, real garlic flavour, non-stick, blah blah blah. That's an emergency in case we don't have any cooking oil. Some corn flour, one of the basics. More cooking utensils. We have this little fellow as a bottle opener, apparently. Can accommodate fairly large caps. Now, I can't really demonstrate it that well, but say for example that's a tight bottle, jam that in there and you use that to open it and close it. So just something I found at an op shop and decided to throw in. Looks like we got some grubby stuff at the bottom there. That's off something, I don't know what. Is that off this? Ah yes, that's off that. It's just fallen off. Bits and pieces in there, including bottle stoppers. If you have to open a bottle that you want to reseal, they're always quite handy. Bottle opener, can opener, blah blah blah. Bit of a knife or something on there as well. Veggie peeler. So those bits and pieces just go in there. Matches, big matches. Stubby holder. One thing, if I want to make my own chips on the road, put your spud in there, whack, you've got chips. That's really good and worthwhile having. Much easier to cook chips than it is to cook whole potatoes, so if you want to cook them quickly, you just whack a spud in there, close it, and you've instant chips. More knives, another serrated knife. Now we got the chopper. That's because Dorothy is addicted to these things. She doesn't like knives, she likes the choppers, so we take those along with us. I like knives, so got a knife there. None of them are really great quality, but they do the job. Dishcloth, and then we have a little container full of bits and bobs. Obviously something missing out of that one. What do we got? Chili flakes, salt, chicken stock, just some basic bits and pieces, MSG because we're unhealthy, Chinese faux spice, some stock cubes, mixed herbs and some pepper. So it does have a top for it but doesn't fit. So I need to clean that box out. I've managed to get some grubby bits and pieces in it over time. Time to clear that out. And we have box number 2. Got a knife there. Perhaps that should have been in box number 1. But was, oh no, yeah, okay. Yes, it should be box number 1. I have no idea what's in this. I think it's empty by the feel of it. Oh no, we have a toaster. Make your toast on that, put it on the flame, it gets hot, put your toast on top, does the job. It was so light I thought it was empty. It must be there just to protect it. Now this one's full of all sorts of bits and bobs, some hand wipes. We've got various sorts of bags. Many sorts of bags. We've got some alfoil, unbreakable beer drinking container, some spare placky containers, rubbish bag, cling wrap. What do we got here? Oh, okay, we got a big set of jaffle makers. Now then we got more mozzie coils with the container. Empty bag. A few firelighters. Looks like, well, I've got my own firelighters these days. I'll have to work out where I put those. I'm not sure where they are, but some spare firelighters there in case I need them. That's a flask if you want to make yourself up a drink for the day. Just a bit of an insulated flask. We sometimes in the morning will make a coffee, whack it in there so we don't have to make one on the road. Bag full of pegs if you want to do washing. A spare bottle that's usually used for putting some water in and putting it in the fridge overnight to make it cold. We have a water filter if we want to use a water source for drinking. I've hardly ever used it. We've tested it a couple of times. It's just a micro filter, mini well that one. More for emergencies than anything else, but we don't usually get ourselves into those sorts of situations. Okay, we have a hook, and that's for this, which is the old solar shower. Yeah, we've got a couple more knives in here that should be in box number 1. So I'll pop those in box number 1. Now you'll be going, where's the cutlery? Most of the cutlery is in the 4x4 that tows the trailer. So all that sort of stuff tends to go in there. We don't need to worry about putting it into these boxes. The reason we have it in the car is we can go off on our own with the car and we've still got most of the gear we need. Just pop those in there. Well, that was the look through the trailer in the beginning of 2024. As I say, we've been on a few trips with it and it's worked pretty well. We do have all sorts of other stuff in the 4x4. That's not here at the moment, so I can't go through that. I'll probably go through that a bit later. We do need to do an update on that. Haven't done one for quite some time. And now it's time to put all this back where it belongs. Bit of work getting it all out, but it's not too bad. Doing it in the early morning before it gets too hot. So thanks for watching, guys, and we shall catch you next time. Probably be on Saturday. Cheers for now.